What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the LetDirtFly YouTube channel. Today is the day, hopefully the episode, that this engine is going back in the worst Can-Am Renegade on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, you know what? Honestly,
we've had a hell of a time.
I think that it was really good that we named it that, because this is apparently the worst engine that Can-Am has built.
So, here we go. So, talked to Mr. RPM. So, we had some issues putting the engine together. The bearings, every set of bearings we put in this thing was way too tight. So basically, what I ended up finding finally, after talking to Steve down there, the case was ovaled slightly, which is probably why this engine blew up in the first place, believe it or not. Yeah. So I ended up just very gently, because it doesn't take much, we found out, because the crank would fit, and that's the problem we were having. The crank was just too tight. Just gently, with some like 2000 grit sandpaper, shaved away at the case, kept pushing the bearings in, test fitting the crank, shave away a little bit. Finally got to where the crank spins nice and smooth. Just reassembled the engine for fifth time? Fourth? Third? I have no idea. I lost count. But got it back together. It's ready to go in the quad. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we also found out also that we don't think the engine was warranted. I think they rebuilt it under warranty, but they used two different halves, which is another issue.
Yeah, so they probably took one of the factory halves and slapped the new one with it, which would make no sense, or, God forbid, one laying around in the shop.
The serial numbers didn't line up, basically. But
so this is not a numbers matching quad.
Well, it was not from Renegade. Doesn't matter, though. We're putting the engine in this quad, and in this episode, we're going to fire it up for you guys. So right now, we got the engine all built, got the transmission on. Let's put this thing in. All right, so while Seth's removing the foot brake, because we got actually all the brake split on this thing. I don't know if you guys, I know we did it in the one episode for the rears, but we actually got the front caliper. So we ended up getting that all bled out. So this thing is basically ready to go with brakes and driveline and everything like that. But here she is. Now, I know it's really oily because unfortunately I had the thing apart like 6 times. But she's back together. We actually cranked it over just by jumping out the starter, just to make sure everything looked good before putting the transmission on. And she now rotates, because that was what happened the first time we went to go turn it over, and it wouldn't turn over. And I kind of knew when I put it together it felt too tight, but got the whole wiring harness on here already as well, all plugged in. Yes, don't look, it is ugly, and this will burn off, so it's a lot of oil on there. But we cleaned up all the mating surfaces again, made sure everything was good there. But she should be ready to rip, so Seth is getting her prepared here to put in. We had to do what I did to my quad, actually, when we 850 swapped it. Had to grind off the welded on nut here in the frame because the one bolt snapped. Same thing actually happened to mine too. So we just got a grade 8 bolt we're going to throw in there with some Loctite, kind of like they do from the factory, and should be more than good enough. We might just have to pop the skid plate off possibly to get to that nut. But the goal for today, not in this video, but the goal for today is just to
set it in place.
Set it in place, get her bolted in, and should be good to go. Actually, I just saw this is the first thing we got to do is get the bolt in for that. That's gonna be always a pleasure. But yeah, so finally time to get this thing in, and I'm excited. All right, so she's officially mostly in. We just have a couple things we gotta do. We gotta pop off the skid plate to get to that one bolt, like I said, in order to tighten that up. Get the front drive shaft hooked up, get the bolt in for the rear drive shaft. Then it's just wiring, hoses, airbox, all that fun stuff, which is gonna be a lot of work. So we did a lot of work today because we actually put the entire engine together today. So we did a lot today. So we're just gonna have to catch you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
In the video.
You might not see it because it's been a long day. Super excited about this. So This is like
It's finally in.
giant steps forward. This isn't baby steps.
I didn't even show them actually. Look, she's in. So, like I said, just need to get some things finalized, obviously, and it's all just plugging in and stuff like that at this point. What we're gonna do, since it was so long since I did this,
Yes.
we're just gonna pull up my fiance's 2019, which is the same year, funny enough, but doesn't matter the years. But just so we can get all the routing correctly for the hoses, the wires, all that fun stuff. Make sure that's all good. All the vent lines, make sure they're out of the way of exhaust stuff. Actually, technically, next time if I do that stuff, Seth, on this side, you could be on the other side putting the exhaust on.
Yeah.
Clutches on.
Yep.
Which, by the way, we got an STM that was just fully rebuilt by NCB Performance.
Yay! More money.
yeah, it did cost you money. But yeah, so gonna hopefully have this thing running soon. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So it's actually the next day here. Gonna go ahead and get working on the quad again here. So yesterday I ended up going ahead and getting the air box on. Everything looks good there. I got it all cleaned out for the most part. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but no more mud, which is really nice. So with the wiring and everything, this is gonna probably take the longest out of anything here. But luckily enough, I got my fiance's 2019 Outlander over there. The wiring should be roughly the same as far as this routing and stuff goes. That's the main thing I need some help with, but shouldn't be a big deal. Also got to route our vent lines here. Unfortunately, Seth accidentally connected the diff vent line instead of the gas tank one, so we got to pop the rear plastics off temporarily real quick. I might be able to try to get it without it, but I have a feeling we're going to have to pop the plastics, but no big deal. So let me go ahead and get you guys in here, get a time lapse going, and I'm just going to start going ahead and getting everything basically all set up. Alright, so got a lot done. It doesn't look like I got anything done, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. But let me show you what I did. Alright, so basically went ahead and got everything positioned as OEM should kind of be, as according to that quad. Hopefully that hasn't been touched. But found out some more things. So the fuel line, which is right back here. I don't know if you guys can even see that sucker right there. There it is. My fingers, pointing fingers on it. So that sucker was actually too long. I think because he replaced the fuel pump, replaced the injectors, I think he replaced the fuel line, and I'm guessing that they come as, like, you have to cut it to length. And he didn't do that. So, it was touching the exhaust. Yeah, just more fun stuff we're finding with this. But we're correcting things as we go. So, got that shortened up, got that corrected. Now it's just a matter of basically getting... I just got to finish up the airbox stuff. Then I got to do the vent lines. I still have to pull this rear plastic back off, unfortunately, because I got to reroute the wires in the back a little better, and then also get the vent lines from all that stuff run up front. And then it's just going to be a matter of doing the exhaust, the clutching, and then once we get that stuff on, we can technically fire this thing up. So we're getting close. We're actually really, really close. So we're planning on Sunday, which is only a couple days from now, firing this up, and it's going to be in this video. So we're really close. I didn't think we'd get this close this fast, but I like to work hard and fast, so we're getting stuff done around here. So should be able to fire this thing up in a couple days and see what she sounds like.
The next day.
All right, guys, so I am over here today without Marshall. I'm just going to kind of keep plugging on certain things, just keep moving forward. I don't know if this is going to be a time lapse or what this is going to be, but, you know, just apparently I got to take the back rack off again. Pain in the butt. I got the front rad cover here ready to go. What we got to do? Obviously, we got to do the oils, front, rear, engine oil, transmission oil. Marshall got the airbox back on. I got a filter, blah, blah, blah. So we're just going to kind of keep plugging along on this. So stay tuned.
today is the day. It's Sunday. Seth's on his way over here in a little bit. Gonna get this thing running today. So right now I just gotta finish a couple things with some vent lines, stuff like that. I believe Seth did fluid changes and stuff like that the other day on the diffs. Got that stuff all ready to go. We got the radiator in. I don't know if it's filled yet. I don't think it is. Doesn't look like it is. But that stuff's all basically ready to go. So it's just a matter of time now. We just gotta start plugging the rest of some stuff in, routing some more stuff, and this thing should run. So right now I gotta go down back, get the rear clutch plate, put that on, get all the exhaust shielding on, stuff like that. We're not gonna go too crazy with the exhaust shields just yet because we are actually going to just fire it up first, make sure everything looks good, run it for a little while, do a little celebration, and then once it's all good to go there, then we'll go ahead and get everything buttoned up and make it this way the thing will actually drive. So right now let's cue the time lapse and dig in and get this thing done. Finally. It's only been like 2 months. Yeah. All right, so got a lot done here. Seth actually just showed up a little while ago. What?
Were you filming already this morning?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was time lapsing behind you. And
What time did you come out here?
like 7.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so got the vent lines all ran up. Well, got to finish running them up there. Seth actually is turning these over to bellows.
Yep. Got the front and rear bellows
for the
on.
diffs. It's just so much easier, and then if you have to take the diff out at any point, you don't have to worry about freaking yanking off the darn vent
Those
lines.
closes are a pain in the butt.
Oh god,
Not
they're so
gonna lie.
bad. So this makes things way easier. Hopefully, it doesn't have to pull the diff for a while because we just had it out of there. But that's besides the point. Like I said, Seth got the radiator in. Did you show them anything with that?
I didn't show him anything with it, but I did just fill it with fluid.
Okay.
So.
And it's not leaking on the floor, well, at least where you didn't spill.
Yeah, I mean, there might be little drips here or there, but whatever.
So we're getting close here.
Yeah.
We're looking good. So right now, let's go ahead and keep on digging in. All right, guys. So it is time. Should be time. I think we got everything plugged in, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
We just power cycled it real quick because we were making sure everything's plugged in. Haven't cranked it yet.
Yes, no crankings.
Clutches are on. New exhaust is on. So it's going to be smoky in here for a few minutes.
Stinky.
But
Go ahead, do the honors. Oh, I heard the fuel pump. Just gonna take a minute because
that was uneventful.
Alright, she runs. I don't even know if I'm in the picture, but she runs.
Got
a lot of work here.
Oh yeah. Gotta let her burn off some stuff real quick. Right now we're gonna heat cycle it. We gotta see if this went down at all.
I didn't put that. Oh, fill it.
Probably gonna have to add some.
Well, this is over full, so I'm assuming it's gonna probably take some out of it. Do I need to open that? Get up. Yeah, she's getting warm, so
Yeah, start feeling some
I'm
hoses.
just waiting for this.
Well, you gotta feel hoses first now. Starting to get some temperature here.
What's that?
Thermostat hasn't opened yet.
I see steam coming off that hose now.
It's starting to get warm.
Yeah. Not yet over here. She's gonna have a big air pocket going.
Hey, the thermostat just hasn't opened all the way yet, unless there's an air pocket stuck at the thermostat.
There could be. How do we get that out?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to purge the system.
Why's it doing that? Why the fuck's it doing that? Is there seriously something wrong with these fucking cases?
I don't want to take this back apart.
This bearing's getting tight. She's a little fucking snug.
She's swelled.
Mm-hmm. I think this thing has case issues. But I just didn't shave it enough. I shaved it till it got nice and free. Yep, that's not good. This thing has to have case issues. I thought we had it. This is where we give them the update of what's happening. And everything seems to be good. It runs good. It's just the crank's tightening up. Crank's still okay right now because it's still rotating over fine. It's just the bearings swelled up and they're tight. I noticed the third time I went to go start it, it sounded like it was tight, but I was like, oh, maybe it's just the battery or something like that, not charging. Nope. We're gonna be really good at building engines. At least everything else is done. It's just a matter of slide the engine out, fix it, slide it back in.
Well, good thing you talked me into those Mr. RPM reusable head studs.
Yeah, we've gone through like 6 sets already. All right, guys. So obviously we're disappointed, but I can't say I didn't see it coming. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it happened. So basically, the other day when I was putting this engine together, I talked to Steve from Mr. RPM because we couldn't figure out why, when I was putting it together, the crank would tighten up the second I put the case together, and we ended up finding out that the 2 serial numbers for the case don't match up. So Steve's like, yeah, it's not supposed to be, and everything. So we ended up, I gently massaged the bores where the bearings sit to try to make the bearings fit better, and we got to where the crank would spin freely, but the clearance is still probably not right, which is why that now it is basically not seizing up, but it's tight. It's seizing up. That's an easier way of putting it. Yeah, so it's nothing we did. It's just we were trying to work with what we got, but unfortunately, we're gonna need a case for this. So basically, we're doing the exact same rebuild on this thing that I did to my quad. So basically, the only thing being reused is like the jugs, the flywheel, the parts inside, but we're gonna need a whole new case. So not a big deal because you can get them, but this big deal cost-wise, they're like $600-700. So we're gonna see if we can find a good used one maybe. We're gonna talk to Mr. RPM. It is Sunday, so hopefully we'll talk to them tomorrow and see if they got something or try to find one somewhere else and rebuild it. Now, we're gonna wait till we actually, we're probably gonna pull the engine here. We're not gonna film it obviously, but we'll probably get the engine back out on the stand and start getting it disassembled. Probably not today because we're a little, obviously, disappointed, but not sure if this is getting to Busco. We're gonna try. We're still gonna try. This thing might have an engine going in Thursday night. I hate to say it.
No.
If it comes down to that,
the week before.
It's got to be running the week before. If not, we're just not going to bring it. It's not worth slamming it together to try to make a deadline like that. So yeah, we're disappointed. It sucks, but this is the reality of this stuff. At first I was just gonna be like, oh, this video is a scratch, but you know what? We want to put out there the truth of what happens with this stuff. Sometimes things don't go to plan, and it sucks. It's like I said, it's nothing we did. It's unfortunate that the darn what do you call it? The case is not mating up correctly. So it's squeezing it too hard, basically, and even though it was loose, I should have maybe went a little bit more just to make sure it was really loose. But I didn't want to go too far to where it spins the bearing. So I was still pressing it nice and tight when I was pressing the bearing into the case, but it just was like I had to keep pressing bearings in and out to test fit, and then finally I got it to where it spun freely. And I just called it good there, but clearly it just wasn't good enough. So sucks, but engine's coming back out. So with that, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. We really appreciate the support. Seth, where can they catch us on the interwebs?
You can catch us on Facebook and Instagram. Send us a message. We'll always try and get back to you guys as quick as we can. So, until next time, we'll catch you later on LetDirtFly.
Have you forgotten where you